So when we're talking about simple retirement solutions and we're talking about how to sell an IUL or how to sell an annuity or infinite banking, mutual whole life, there's a couple of things you can do. And one of my favorites is an attorney. I like attorneys because I like the speed. I told them, basically, I specialize in retirement solutions. Do you offer any retirement options to your employees? And they said, not really. I said, how many employees do you have? And they were like, 8. There's 8. I said, okay, there's 4 names on the wall. I assume those are the partners. They said, yeah, one's retired. The other one's about to retire. And it's going to be just 2 of us that own it. And I said, so do you guys have a key man in place? And they're like, what's that? So has anybody here ever heard of a key man insurance policy? Chris, you want to tell us how that works?
Key person insurance policies, it's essentially where it's kind of in the best interest of the business, kind of like protecting a high-level executive or even the owner. I mean, you being the owner of like an LLC and stuff, hey, you are a key person. You can set up a really good tax-advantaged solution for your business that way and reward.
So essentially what I offer these people is I set up 2 IULs. At their ages, the IUL made more sense. Of course, they have to qualify, medically. But I said, all right, here's Cameron's policy and here's Chris's policy. And you can set them up a bunch of different ways. But the way I set it up was, 1, the business is the owner. The business is the one paying for it. And since I have Jessica on here, who's a tax professional, I can say that the business is writing that off 100% using Section 162 of the IRS tax code. If I'm wrong, Jessica, let me know. But that tax code allows them to use the business funds, pay for it, and then write it off as a business expense. So I don't know if you can quote me on saying this, but that's a free policy, right? You're paying, in these cases, that these guys were paying $2,000 per person per month for their retirement plan. So the idea is Cameron and Chris are both the attorneys. They both are putting in $2,000 a month of company money that's being written off. And then whenever they retire, they would each get ownership of their policy. Kind of like Coach Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if you've heard, about his policy. I did a TikTok on this last week, but, I'm not a big sports nut at all, but I know that the Wolverines just won the national champion. And I know that Nick Saban has always been the highest paid football coach on the planet. But a couple years ago, Harbaugh worked out a deal. He gets barely less salary than Nick Saban, but they also agreed to pay him a bonus. He opted to take that bonus, $2 million a year, dumped into an index universal life policy for 6 years. So the deal is, as long as you stay with Michigan for 6 years, we own the policy right now, right? But if you stay here for 6 years, then we're going to give you the ownership of this policy, and that policy is going to generate you a tax-free retirement income of $1.4 million a year. So somebody asked me yesterday, so that answers the question if he's going to the NFL or not. Like, why would he? He just sit back and collect $1.4 million after he's done with Michigan.
He just went to the Chargers.
Did he really? I didn't even know. Somebody literally just asked me that like last week. I don't know when that happened, but they must not have known that either. I sure didn't.
Well, he's probably getting $15 million a year from the Chargers.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I would, because you're getting 2 paychecks now. He's getting a paycheck from them, and he's getting a paycheck from the Chargers. So, what are you going to say, Chris?
No, I was saying just that. Basically, the NFL just comes over with some more money. He'll be able to fund what Michigan was lacking into that policy, or whatever they're not going to be paying.
So, but there's a couple of ways you can word this. There's what's the other term?
But Dabo Sweeney does have that same arrangement with University of Clemson, only $1 million.
You watched my TikTok, didn't you? But there is another. There's Keyman Insurance. There's Golden Handcuffs, and what's the other one? Buy-sell agreement. So technically, I guess what I'm describing, I would probably call more of a buy-sell agreement. The key man and golden handcuffs are kind of the same thing. Let's say that Ashley is like a key person in my business I couldn't live without, right? So what I would do as the business owner is I would bonus her premiums to cover I'd bonus her, paycheck to cover the premiums. The company, again, pays for her policy. And, you know, then basically the golden handcuffs says, as long as you stay with my agency or my law firm or my business, whatever, for X amount of years, just like they did for Jim, that's golden handcuffs. They're saying, then we will give you the keys to this vehicle and you'll drive away with it. And you will be able to basically instantly inherit or earn a $1.4 million tax-free annual income. So that's exactly what they did for Harbaugh. So for my attorney group, what I did with the two for each partner is that, you know, I think I used Chris and Cameron in this example. So let's just say that Chris were to pass away. So he has roughly, let's say, a $2 million life insurance benefit. Well, half of that is going to go to the company, one, to replenish the money they've dumped in that policy and written off. Two, to replace Chris because they have a big workload that he was working on. They need to hire another attorney. So that gives them about $1 million to do whatever they need to do to take care of their business to help, you know, replace Chris. But that also leaves Chris's wife $1 million of death benefits so she can go buy a new husband, right? So that's how I would use the buy-sell agreement.